Hello. I've been thinking a lot about talking about this or not, but I think I want to do it just because some of these videos feels like journaling, and for me it really helps to clear my head and to put everything I have here into sentences and make it more cohesive, more easy to understand. So I know it's not the usual video, and maybe I shouldn't talk about it, but I want to do it, and this is my channel, so I will do it. Nobody asked me to do this justification, but I guess I'm doing it for myself. But yeah, so I'm 30 years old, and usually I talk about dating and lifestyle and things that I'm going through. Some of them are positive, some of them are negative, because I feel like I've been lucky, quote unquote, lucky enough to not go through a lot of hardships. Like, of course, I had my fair stories, like difficult stories, but nothing huge. So now in my 30s, well, not now, but last week, it was the first time that I had to deal with the loss of a family member. And thankfully, it was a family member. It was my grandmother. She was like 92, almost 93 years old. And she left in a really peaceful way. It was meant to be. People age, people get old. She didn't have a heart attack or any seizure, absolutely anything. It was a really peaceful and calm death. And I'm really happy that it was this way. But still, it was someone close dying for the first time. And I was a bit afraid. Like, of course, at the beginning, this happened a little bit over a week ago. At the beginning, my first thought, because I live abroad, it was it was quite selfish, I guess, but it was what needed to be dealt before everything. It was, what am I doing? Should I go to my home country to be with my family? Should I just wait and go in a few days to be with my family, but not rush the whole process? But long story short, on Wednesday this happened, and Thursday morning I was already back in Spain with my family, and I'm so happy I went, because it was meant to be. Like, of course, work is important, the life that I have here is important, but there's nothing more important than the people that gave me life, that gave me absolutely everything. They are the reason why I'm here. And of course, with family, I don't think I have any friends that say that their relationship is perfect with their family, and that's the case with my family as well. Like, I love them, absolutely everyone, but we have our things. Like, we sometimes we don't see things the same way. We have some arguments and stuff, and that's completely fine, but that's besides the point. I love my family, I love my parents, I love my brother, I love my grandmas, and most of the aunts and uncles, cousins. I cannot complain about this. So I had a really good relationship with my grandmother, and I'm really happy that I was there to say goodbye. I was able to see the dead body, and in some way, I'm happy I was able to see it, because I don't live with her. I live in another country. I'm originally from Spain, but I'm living in Helsinki, in Finland. So I've been living here for 3 years. And before, I was seeing her a little bit more often, but not so often because she doesn't live in my hometown. But still, it's not that far. But since I'm living abroad, of course, I see her less. So it's basically 2 or 3 times a year: Christmas, summer, and maybe some other occasion. So I saw her kind of recently in December or January, and I'm super happy that I was able to see her and talk with her and stuff. But I also wanted to see her when I was there, if that makes sense. And they opened the casket, and it was really weird. Again, it's the first time. I'm 30 years old, and it's the first time that I have to deal with the loss of a family member. So I'm kind of lucky in that way. And I'm happy that I'm grown and I have the tools and I have a good circle around me to deal with this. But I also feel like being the first time that I lose a family member, it hasn't hit yet. Like, of course, I was super sad on the way to Spain, like before getting into the flight, and while I was taking the bus to go to the place where my grandmother lived, I was crying quite a lot. It was a mix of being tired, confused, sad, but I didn't still process the whole thing. And then the day of the funeral and everything, I was crying quite a lot as well. And at that moment, I thought it was not so much because of me, because I lost my grandma. It was because I was seeing everyone around me, family members that I usually see really happy. They were, of course, really sad and crying and saying goodbye. And it was a really weird feeling. But I keep saying also, and it might sound a little bit weird, that it was also really beautiful to see so many people leaving absolutely everything they were doing just to be with, just to say goodbye to my grandma, to their loved ones, and to support our family. It was really, really beautiful. So I'm really happy I went. But like I was saying, I feel like this kind of stuff, right now it's been a little bit over a week, but I feel like I still don't process in my head that the next time that I will go see this side of the family, she will not be there because, of course, grandmas. I never met my grandparents. I feel like my grandfathers. I want to meet. This is a difficult topic, so I cannot express it as I would like to. But hopefully it makes sense. But yeah, my grandpas, I haven't met any of them, or maybe one when I was really little, but I don't have any memory of them because they died either before I was born or really soon after I was born. But with my grandmothers, I have both. They are both, well, one of them just died, but they were both in their 90s, and I had a really good relationship. And of course, the grandparents are the reason why the family is there at all times, if it makes sense. Like when it's Christmas, we always spend Christmas with my mom's side of the family, and my grandmother is like the star, let's say, because my mom is there because of my grandmother. My cousins are there because of my uncles, and my aunts, which are there because of my grandmother. Like she's the reason why everyone is there and why we all reunite, if that makes sense. I know it's really silly, but I'm trying to make it make sense. Like grandmas and grandpas are really important, and is the reason why we are so close and why we get together every now and then, even if it's once a year. That one time a year that I meet with the whole side, my mom's family or my dad's family, the reason why everyone is there is because my grandma's decided to have children and stuff. And again, it sounds really silly, but it's kind of important to set the scene, I guess. So what I'm trying to say is that the next time that we have these gatherings, my grandmother is not gonna be there. And I want to think that we're gonna keep on having these gatherings, but of course it's gonna be quite difficult. Just now thinking about it, I get a little bit emotional because it's not that we don't have a reason to meet anymore, because we are still quite close and I really think that we will keep doing that. But the moment that we decide to do it this upcoming Christmas, it's gonna be quite hard for absolutely everyone. And even if you are well, you're living your best life when you get to that point. And last year, and for my whole life, my grandmother was there, but now she will not be there anymore. It's gonna be quite sad. So it's just a matter of getting used to it. And also, I'm trying to I'm trying to make myself know that it's okay to be sad because a family member just passed away, and it's not just any family member, it's a really important one. And I have to be comfortable with feeling sad because there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. In the past, I feel like whenever I feel some kind of way, when I feel upset, when I feel sad, when I feel mad, when I feel some kind of negative feelings, I just block it out. I start listening to music, I watch a TV show, I put some podcasts, I go meet with people. But right now, I'm trying to feel all these feelings. And this goes as well when I'm happy, but also when I'm going through stuff. I don't want to just block how I feel with other inputs. I want to feel all of this and be able to process it, and to process it in a more mature and intentional way. I talked a lot in this channel that I want to date more intentionally, and I want to not just go on random dates and meet random people. I want to do it in a more conscious way, in a more mature way. So I guess this applies to everything in life, also the death of my grandmother. And yeah, I guess this video, it's just a reason to, like I was saying at the beginning, make everything I have in my head make sense, like find the logic in all of it. But still, I feel like most of the things you get to a solution, like you can fix them. Let's say if you're upset with your friend, you can talk about it with your friend and you can try to fix it. Let's say something is happening at work, you also can try to do your best to fix it. But with this situation, it's weird, it's really different because it's not something that you can fix. Of course, you can just keep living your life. You can pretend that nothing has happened, but I don't want to do that. And in this case, it should be easier, quote unquote, because I keep doing quote unquote, I don't know why. But it should be easier because she didn't suffer at all and she lived a really happy life overall. And she had her sons, her daughter, then grandsons and granddaughters, and even great grandsons and great granddaughters. So she was really happy most of the time, and she should be really proud because, of course, families go through stuff, but she should be really proud of the family that she created. And I think that she knows, and she was really happy. So it's the best way to go, like to leave us, by being happy and knowing that you've done a great job. And even more specifically, the way that she left, like the exact moment that she passed away, she was, something happened in the morning, like early in the morning, like 9 a.m. And I think she went to the hospital, and then she was back to her house, and she was having lunch as usual with my father, so with her son, and with one or two of her granddaughters. So she was eating with her loved ones, with the family that she created. And I think little by little she just was losing energy, and she just left us. And it is sad, of course, it's sad, but it's also really beautiful that she left us in this way, just having lunch and eating with the people that she loved the most. And it was also really beautiful when I went to the funeral, and now it's raining, everything now it's starting to rain, everything is so poetic. It was really beautiful to be there the day after she left us, because like I was saying, she did a great job raising a great family. Everyone loved her, and it was really nice to be able to say goodbye, and especially be able to be there with my family, because again, I don't think it was about me in that moment. It was that I was meant to be there with the people that I love, because the people that I love also loved her. And even if you're not that close with your family, in these moments you have to do would you have to do? So yeah, this happened, and I guess that's it. I don't know. Like I was saying, I feel like this stuff I will process it much later, and I'm kind of excited for the process, as weird as it might sound, but I'm also a bit scared because I said that it's the first time that has happened. But I don't know, I was also talking with my friends. They were complaining, kind of like, why didn't you tell us? Because we could have been in the funeral and all this process. But in this kind of situation, at least for me, I don't think it helps to talk with people. I feel like it helps to process it myself, at least a little bit. And then eventually, if I feel like it, I will share with the people that care about me. But at that moment, I didn't even think about inviting my friends to the funeral. And that's completely fine because everyone processes this kind of stuff their own way. And there's no wrong way of doing this because you are the one that is feeling this sadness. So you should be the one deciding what do you want to do, who do you want to contact, who do you want to share whatever you have in your head with. So whatever you do when these things happen, it's okay. I know that there's people that get really mad, maybe they get upset and they are paying it with other people. Even that I can understand is not fair for other people, but even that I can get, that you don't know how to process it. You feel a lot of things, so the first thing you want to do is just shout or be mean at someone, not because you want to, just because it's the way you can process all of this, is the way you want, not you want, but it's the way your body is telling you to deal with all of these emotions. And I guess just shouting and being more aggressive, it's also a way of releasing this. For me, I guess since I'm more on the sensitive side, it's just crying, and that's also a really healthy way, I want to say. But yeah, like all the videos, I feel like this was a bit messy. It kind of helped, I think, to talk about it. Was not expecting to cry because now it's been over a week, but there's nothing wrong with crying, so I will not cut this out. I will not cut this out because I don't edit for my life. I should start editing. But yeah, this is it. Like I said, it's gonna be interesting, and I don't feel like just avoiding the topic. I just move on with my life. I want to move on with my life, but I also want to remember my grandmother, and I don't want to block all these feelings. I want to feel them. If that means that I will cry, I will cry, and that's okay. If that means that I want to be in my place, just not talk with a lot of people, that's also good, as long as I don't do it for a really long time. And I think that's it. Bye bye.